Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Things are changing by the minute. I wake up this morning with text messages that the Winnipeg Jets are eyeing Saskatoon as a place to play their games in the 15,000-seat Sask Health Center. By the time we go to air here, noon Eastern, 11 your time, it's now off the table. I guess they're not going to go. Elliot Friedman initially reported the Jets were looking at Saskatoon. Now they're not. And I'm interested in your take on that whole situation. I didn't think it was ever going to happen for a couple of reasons, not the least of which, there's no restrictions in Saskatchewan. The NHL's Bermuda Triangle, pardon me. But there could be by noon your time. You can't just move your games there. Yeah, go ahead. What is your? I didn't think it was ever going to happen. Due diligence to look into it, but no, I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
Yeah, good due diligence. And here's the thing. It's the only possible place in the whole country that you could do this. Okay? There's nowhere else. You know, somebody said, what about Regina? What about this city, that city? I'm like, you need an arena of that size. You need a jurisdiction, a province that's going to allow fans to come into the building. So Saskatoon was the only option. And I wouldn't expect Winnipeg to be the only team to explore this. When they, and Elliot was sharing that information on his Twitter feed today, that they polled their season ticket holders about their feelings about it. Of course, they'll be upset.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Winnipeg has become the flagship franchise of the CFL. Oh, yeah, who said that months ago? Oh, wait a minute. Me.
Oh, good one,
What I respect about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is that they don't care. They're not running around looking for credit. They don't care. They've got the Grey Cups. They've got the records. They don't care. Proof's in the pudding, man.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is, whatever that means. The proof is always in the pudding. Welcome to a brand new week, everybody. You can tell it's a Monday because my headphones are blaring in here. Bear with me. Hope you're ready for a brand new week of talking sports. There will be far less coughing. Trust me, from what you heard in the intro there from Friday's program. And it is episode number 670 of your favorite. Yeah, something like that. Let's bring in the Moose, Darren Moose DuPont. How you doing, Moose? How do you like me so far? I think I lost track of what episode number it is. We got to it's episode 670. Somehow or another, I lopped 200 shows off there. Can't have that.
That's not an after effect of COVID, is it?
Well, the cat's out of the bag. Yeah, I had the Rona. I'm proud to say that I've been removed from COVID protocol, but I'll tell you what, man, this isn't anything to fool around with when they say that your brain gets a little foggy. That's my excuse that I'm going to be riding for at least a couple of weeks, okay, if I'm a little foggy on things. I'm recovering from COVID. So, yes, but because of the COVID protocol thing, we're supposed to be in Calgary today, both you and me, for the opening episode of the RP Show live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. But, hey, it's been moved back a week. It is what it is. Bob's your uncle, and we'll talk sports for this week. I guess we will be opening up in moments with the photo album, but let me just ask you this. How was your weekend? Did you have a good one?
Had a great weekend, actually. Still cold. Spent a lot of it inside, which was okay. It didn't help that games are being postponed around here too. So there's not a lot to do, but it was a really nice weekend. Good chance to recharge and watched a lot of sports too, so it was good.
Well, there was a lot of that, and that's what we're here to talk about today. But I want to just mention, we do it every Monday, the RP Show photo album presented by our friends at Great Western Brewing Company. Because I was in protocol, I wasn't out and about a lot, hardly at all. So I don't have a lot of photos, but I do have a few. One is an old school photo. If you want to roll it, Clark, this is myself and Braden Lennius, who was released on Friday by the Saskatchewan Roughriders in order to pursue an NFL opportunity. This is from a couple of years ago. I think we gathered to watch Patty or something. I can't remember. It was at our friend's home. And so I dug that thing out and put it on Instagram. Congratulations, Braden, who's headed to the National Football League. And if I find out by the end of today's show where he's signing in the NFL, I will certainly pass it along. We were at the Felix that night watching football. That's what I know. That kid has got NFL written all over him, so it's not a shock to me at all that he's signing in the league. Okay, moving on. This is actually from this morning. I was at the grocery store. So I hopped out of my car, my Jeep, and took that photo because it's always Jeep season. And that's the setting down here in beautiful South Florida. Not real interested in leaving it. Anybody who wonders why I'm here has never been here. That's a 2004 Jeep Wrangler, Darren. How beautiful is that?
Unbelievable.
One of the coolest Jeeps in South Florida. I'm telling you that right now. Anyways, those are mine. What are yours? Who's this?
Okay, so this was a Christmas present that I got. A little curling board from Curling Canada, just to play around with. It's fun at all. It's like a mini shuffleboard table. And so, we're curling fans over here. So we were watching some of the different provincial playdowns on the women's side over the weekend, and that was a lot of fun. So while we were watching the curling, we were playing curling, we were following Amber Holland a little bit at the Saskatchewan. She didn't win. Penny Barker won. But we know all the provincial championships on the women's side were happening to determine who's going to the National Scotties. So we were playing curling when I wasn't watching football this weekend.
Okay, cool. And what else do we have? Let's speed it up here, boys. This is producer Clark's new dog, Freddie, newest member of the Monroe family. Way to go, Clark. That is Freddie, named after the inventor of insulin. Clark tells us his diabetes has affected his family. So there you go. That's our weekend photo album brought to you by Great Western Brewing Company. Brewed in Saskatchewan, made with premium Saskatchewan ingredients. Original 16s unfiltered for peak flavor. Purchase at a store near you today. And I'm glad that you brought up curling because we're going to get to curling in the quick stick show topics here. We have on the docket today Jeff Reinbold, our NFL insider, and he's also been in the news as he joined the Montreal Alouettes late last week as their special teams coordinator. So we'll talk to Coach Reinbold about that decision. And also Kim Coates, movie star Kim Coates, star of film, stage, and screen. Kim Coates will be with us in hour two. Sons of Anarchy, Bad Boys, Bad Blood. Kim Coates in hour two as we sashay into a little entertainment on the program today. Okay, quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan. You just knew that it was because it was Black Monday in the NFL there were going to be firings. When we went to bed last night, there were three openings only in the National Football League. Vic Fangio, who had been let go by the Denver Broncos, they have not made the playoffs since 2015. They tie a can to Vic in Denver. They did that on Sunday. Las Vegas, they have made the playoff, but they're still calling it an opening because Rich Bisaccia is their interim coach, and he's the only coach in NFL history to actually guide a team to the playoffs under the interim. Look it up, if you can believe. And Jacksonville with Urban Meyer. But we knew because it's Monday there was going to be teams firing their coaches, and that happened today. Fast and furious, Minnesota firing Mike Zimmer, another year out of the playoffs. Like Chicago firing Matt Nagy, which they probably could have done in week 3, but they waited until the end of the regular season because the Bears owners are cheap and they don't like paying people for not working for them. And in Miami, this was the stunner. This is the stunner. Brian Flores. Listen, I've been down here long enough. I got football friends. And here's another funny little story. Just over the other side of that fence is a shipping company. So when you hear those horns and the trucks and everything going off all the time, that's what's going on back there, Darren. And I hear the drivers talking all the time. So I've been sitting here this morning eavesdropping on the drivers of the shipping company, the trucks that go in and out. They are pissed that Brian Flores got fired. We're stunned. It's in my Monday morning goalie column. Second consecutive season of a winning record with the Miami Dolphins. Granted, they didn't make the playoffs again. Flores has been here for 3 seasons and hasn't made the playoffs yet. But we all expected that the team is on moving. It's on the way up. And yes, they won 7 in a row this year. They lost 7 in a row. But that 7-game losing streak coincided with Tua's injury in week 2, which I was there and saw when he cracked his ribs. What are you supposed to do without your quarterback? Saw RG3 on ESPN this morning saying it's appalling that Brian Flores was fired. And I put this on Twitter. There's outrage in South Florida that Brian Flores has been fired. And people are saying, well, Rod, he doesn't treat his players really well. I don't know. I got a good friend on the Dolphins in Sam McGuavin. He loves Brian Flores. He would lay down in traffic for Brian Flores. He would walk through fire for Brian Flores. Sam is a Flores guy. So now there's a lot of nervous people in that locker room with the Dolphins firing their head coach today. I don't know if we're done yet or not, but there's now 6 openings in the National Football League as we sit here right now.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, they really cleaned house in Minnesota. The GM's gone, the coach is gone. It's going to be a complete restructure, but there's some real optimism in Minnesota because you have some of the great weapons. Jefferson, you look at Diggs in the backfield. They have some really good weapons. It's a very strong, exciting young football team in Minnesota. And Kirk Cousins has shown that he can, put points on the board and play well. Don't know if he's going to be the future or not, but that's exciting for Minnesota. The Florida one is interesting, really interesting in Miami with the Dolphins and Flores, because in the last 9 games for the Miami Dolphins, the only loss that they have is to the number 1 team in the AFC. That's
Titans,
it.
They spanked.
I mean, if you go in 9 games and the only loss is to the number 1 team in the conference, that's pretty good. I mean, but it wasn't enough to save his job. And we're hearing this morning, about the GM Greer and the head coach Flores. And if they're not on the same page, which we're here, they're not. If they're not on the same page, then it's tough to move forward. And now the Deshaun Watson situation resets completely. We've heard that Watson, part of the reason he was willing to move his no trade clause was because of that tandem, the GM and the coach in Miami with the Dolphins. So now that whole situation resets. That was the big shocker of the morning for sure.
This is the quick 6 show topic. This is the warm-up of the RP show. We're going to get to a lot of other sports as well. But listen, the NFL's king. It's what I thought of the first thing when my feet hit the floor this morning. It's king. It's what everybody's talking about. And when the local team fires their coach, we're going to talk about it here. But point 2, the Sunday night game. It was an astounding final Sunday of the regular season in the National Football League. Now, full disclosure, 8:20 p.m. kickoff. I was asleep by halftime. So I missed all the drama, but I knew going into the Chargers-Raiders Sunday night game that each team only needed a tie at the least, and they would both make the playoffs. And the first thing I thought, because people were tweeting at us, both you and me, saying, what do you think is going to happen? Are they going to have a mutual agreement here to tie? No. Not for 1 second did I think that they would. The Raiders don't owe it to the Chargers to make the playoffs and vice versa. So Daniel Carlson kicked a 47-yard field goal in overtime as time expired, and the Vegas Raiders defeated the LA Chargers 35-32. Raiders in, Chargers out. Raiders advance to play Cincinnati on the road next weekend. It's the first game on Wild Card Weekend, Saturday afternoon. And that eliminated the Chargers. Steelers got in, and I've got written in here in all caps, integrity of the game. Is integrity of the game still a thing anymore, given some of the teams that are being iced and fielded because of COVID protocol? Is integrity still a thing? I don't know. But there was never going to be a gentleman's agreement whether they would both tie. It's embarrassing. Unless I'm so bloody old school and out of touch that maybe they might do that these days. I don't know.
Yeah, they're never going to do it. And that's the integrity of the game. Imagine the backlash in the media and on social media. I mean, from a fan perspective, we've never seen an agreed tie, or you get there and for 60 minutes, you just take knees, literally for 60 minutes. We'll kneel down, punt it. You'll kneel down, punt it.
Imagine.
Could you imagine? They could have done that and both punched their tickets to the playoffs. And I would understand that, because as a coach and a general manager and a player, your job is to get your team in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. You get paid bonuses. It looks good on your resume. Get your team to the playoff by any means necessary, even if it's to just kneel out a game and tie. But if that's the way that Big Ben's career ended, everything worked out. The Jags beat the Colts. They beat the Baltimore Ravens in overtime. They're riding high. One final dance for Ben Roethlisberger. And then these guys are going to say, no, we're going to end this right now, end your career. Wild. But you know what? I think it ended the way it should have. This is a division rivalry, right? They're in the same division. So if you get a chance to punch your own ticket to the playoffs and eliminate a division rival, who you're going to have to get through at some point eventually, why not take care of business when you can? And that's what the Raiders did.
Yeah, we have all week to tee up the matchups coming up this weekend, and it is daytime sports talk, but this is part of the reason why I came to Florida, was to be in an NFL market and an NHL market, talk about these things that pertain to the place that we are locally. And I'm loving it. It's a lot of fun. But anyways, moving on to point 3, NHL Sunday is what I have written down. There were only 2 games. Jordan Kyrou and Ryan O'Reilly scored power play goals in the final minute, rallying the St. Louis Blues over the Dallas Stars 2-1 Sunday. If I read it correctly, it's the first, I'm not sure it's right. I got to go back and look at it. From NHL.com, the PR section there, game note section, it said it's the first time in NHL history that a team is trailed by 2 goals in less than a minute and come back 1. That's what it said. I got to go back and see if that's true. But whatever, the Blues are happy. Kyrou won it with 29 seconds left. O'Reilly tied at 1-1 with 47 seconds to go. Here it is. The first time in franchise history, the Blues scored twice in the last minute to win. That I could get down with it. The Blues have never done it before, but I have a tough time believing that no team's ever done it. Yeah. But anyways, that's what it said. And in Anaheim, rookie Trevor Zegras had a goal and an assist before scoring again in the shootout, leading the Ducks to a 4-3 victory over the Detroit Red Wings on Sunday, in a game that was rescheduled due to Anaheim's COVID problems. I just want to say, yeah, I'll pat myself on the back and probably dislocate my shoulder by saying that Anaheim was going to be this good. But I did have the Blues missing the playoff spot. So I'm batting 500 on that one so far. And in Edmonton, the NHL has postponed 2 games due to COVID-related issues affecting the Oilers and the Devils. Edmonton's home game tonight to Ottawa is now going to be played Saturday at Rogers Place, the league said in a statement. And a new date for tonight's game between the Devils and Tampa Bay Lightning has yet to be determined. And the Oilers placed forwards Warren Fogle and Tyler Benson in the NHL's COVID-19 protocol Sunday, a day after adding 5 teammates and 6 members of the team's support staff to the list. By the way, this is the warm-up, and we're getting tight for time. Coming back next segment, we're going to talk curling, some COVID cancellations. Bob Saget passed away over the week. How about that? Are you old enough to remember Family Matters? Is that in your wheelhouse? I can't remember you being born in 1987 if you were part of the Mary-Kate Ashley furor. Was that in 80s or 90s?
Full House, man. Yeah, that was on when I was growing up, for sure. And
Uncle Blackie.
He played a big role in that.
Uncle Blackie did?
Yeah,
Bob Saget. Yeah. I think Bob Saget. Wow.
No.
Now's not the time. We'll talk about Bob Saget another time. A regular and recurring guest on the Howard Stern Show. He's a different kind of guy than I thought. Let's put it that way. Another thing that I have written down is NLL weekend wrap. And I wrote the scores here. It's COVID, man. You can blame the brain fog on COVID, or we have no idea what's going on any given moment. So Friday night, the Colorado Mammoth beat the Vancouver Warriors 18-15, and they played that in Vancouver. In other games, Philadelphia beat Georgia 12-11 on Saturday. The Albany Firewolves beat the Saskatchewan Rush 10-5. Your Rush. They're 1-3, right, Moose? Isn't that their record?
Yeah, not a good start.
Okay. The Buffalo Bandits beat the Toronto Rock 12-6. And San Diego beat Panther City 15-12. I have a problem with Panther City, the expansion team, naming themselves Panther City. You know why? Because you have no idea where the hell that is.
I know.
Why wouldn't they just call themselves the Fort Worth Panther? Boom. But no, it's Panther City. Anyways, they lost because they're an expansion team, so they're just automatically supposed to suck. To the San Diego Seals 15-12. And this Friday, the Rush are home to San Diego. You're going to be broadcasting the game. It's still a go as we sit here today?
As we sit here today, I've got a production meeting tomorrow on the game. So, yeah, she's full systems go as we sit here today.
Okay, so a lot of time on NFL and NHL in the opening segment. When we come back, I promise that we get to some curling because it's heating up there. Provincial winter games being called. We need to talk about that. And more NFL. We'll see if somebody gets fired in the NFL in this commercial break. Okay. We'll be right back. It's the RP Show you're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio with Rod Pedersen.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Giving us a show, Moose. Welcome back to the program, everybody. It's still the warm-up. Reminds me of my dad. If I ever walked around with my fly down accidentally, my dad would say, "The advertising?" Anyways, on Game Plus, Deb is watching in Toronto. Regular viewer there, Deb B. And she writes in, she says, "Hi, guys. For years, I tried to understand football and always thought I was missing something. Just last year, something clicked. Man, after last night's game, I'm so glad it did. Where have I been?" Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but football's glad to have you, Deb. And that's part of what I was thinking this morning about the NFL never missing a game, just that engine that just keeps plugging away, Moose, and why it was so important for the leagues to play because of the out of sight, out of mind thing. But I think we all get upset at corporate greed, and I get particularly upset at greed just in general in life. But just with sports leagues and the gouging and the tickets and the merchandise and what we pay for parking. But it's all because of this, I guess, socking money away in the case of a rainy day where the NFL is just, it's so greedy, but it served them in the end. They're king. It served them.
Yeah, really. I mean, the more you can make, the more you can do, right? That's kind of the end of the day. And it's something that plagues the nonprofit world. When you're in a nonprofit situation, you think you can't make any money. You're not allowed to make money. No, you're just not allowed to profit. You can make money. The more money you make means the more things you can do. Same with football, right? The more the NFL makes, the more advertising they can do, the more fans they can go after, the more merchandise they can create and sell. And when times are tough, they can trudge on when others can't.
Yes. And if anybody has a problem with that greed, it's like, don't pay it. Yet we keep paying it and they keep trucking along. And what I think some of the leagues don't understand is they are in a fight for that dollar amongst the sports fan, and the NFL is just running away with it. Anyways, I'm going to come back to the viewer questions because they all pertain to the National Football League. How about that? But this is a Canadian-held sports program, despite the fact that I'm in South Florida for now. So I do want to do some Canadian sports talk. Laura Walker made a game-winning draw Sunday afternoon to win the Alberta Women's Curling Playdowns and secure a berth in the upcoming national championship, the Scotties. She drew her final stone to the 4-foot ring for a 6-5 win over Casey Scheidegger at the Bonnets Energy Centre. Walker finished third at the Scotties last year in the Calgary bubble. This year's event will be in Thunder Bay, Ontario, January 28th to February 6th. Marianne Arsenault beat Kayla McMillan 8-6 on Sunday to win the BC title. You mentioned earlier, Penny Barker earned the Saskatchewan crown with a 7-5 win over Chelsea Carey. Two-time defending champion Carrie Anerson and her Manitoba-based team will play as Team Canada at the Scotties. Other confirmed entries include Manitoba's Mackenzie Zacharias, New Brunswick's Andrea Crawford, Sarah Hill of Newfoundland, Northern Ontario's Krista McCarville, Carrie Galusha of the Territories, Nova Scotia's Christina Black, Nunavut's Bridget McPhail, Suzanne Burt of PEI, Quebec's Laurie St. George, and Yukon's Haley Burney. Meanwhile, Kevin Cooey will play in a 10th career Tim Hortons Brier after his rink from the Glencoe Curling Club in Calgary defeated Ted Appleman in the Alberta Men's Provincial Final. Cooey and his team of third BJ Neufeld, second John Morris, and lead Ben Hebert put up deuces every time they had hammer on their way to an 8-4 victory in 8 ends over Team Appleman. Did they call it a tankard in other provinces for the men's championship, or is that just a Saskatchewan thing? Do we know the answer to that question? Because I do not.
I don't, and that's a great question. I think it's a curling thing, but it might just be a Saskatchewan thing.
Can somebody please let us know? You don't? You do or you don't?
No, I'm just guessing. I think that they would call it a tankard, but maybe it is just our thing.
Can somebody please let us know? Okay, now to this. Let's get real about it. We talk about what people want to talk about. And by the way, it's a brand new week. So it's a brand new contest for the Taco Time Comment of the Week. $50 gift card up for grabs from our friends at Taco Time. I can literally smell the Taco Time. It'll be next Sunday that I hit that one on 17th Avenue with you. Or 11th. We'll see how we feel. Anyways, Ray in Scarborough, Ray in the 6 writes in and he says, "Hey, Rod, you're sounding better." Thank you. I appreciate that. Probably shouldn't have been on the air last week, but it is what it is. He says, "What an unbelievable football game last night. How do you explain the decision by Staley for the timeout? Am I missing something? Looking forward to the national championship tonight." So Ray in the 6 has given us a couple things to gnaw on here. And one U.S. college coach DM'd me this morning, and he goes, "You guys better be talking about the timeout." And I'm like, "Well, if it comes up, we will." And Ray in the Six has brought that up. Brandon Staley, the coach of the Chargers, calling a timeout in the final minute. Now, save me some time to talk about the Natty as well, okay? Alabama, Georgia tonight. We have to talk about that. But I'll be honest, I'd gone to bed. It was near midnight. What were you doing up, Ray? Don't you got to work? But watching the analysis this morning, I didn't see it. And it's hard when you weren't watching the game to relive the moment and the emotions. I've been watching all morning the ESPN shows, and they say that Brandon Staley, the coach of the Chargers, cost them a playoff berth by this timeout call. What's your read on the situation? The Raiders were surprised that the Chargers called a timeout, correct? Because they're like, we were running the ball. We were trying to keep the clock going. What's your read on it?
My read is, let's just calm down. This timeout didn't affect the football game at all, in my mind. Now, here's what you're right. You know, the Raiders were running the football, and part of it was, we're not going to give the Chargers another possession. Okay, we're not going to give them a chance to end our season. We're going to control it. If we tie it and bring them to the playoffs with us, great. If we get into field goal range and win it, even better. Okay. So they're running the football and they're not in field goal range, and Staley takes the timeout call. But I was watching, and so Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth on the call on NBC were like, he took a timeout. We're shocked. You know, we thought this was just going to go into a tie. There was 4 seconds left in the play clock. 4 seconds. That's it. So you didn't save any time on the clock. They were going to run the ball anyways. Your timeout gave you a chance to just reset for a second. They still ran the ball and actually ran it into field goal range, which ended up getting to the game winner. But no, the timeout didn't affect anything. Maybe if you saved it, you could have used it at the end to give yourself one possession or like one play to win the game, maybe. But in terms of time, 4 seconds was on the clock. That was it. So to me, not a big deal.
Okay. Shout out Michael watching in Winnipeg. Michael Wynn. He's written us on Twitter. He's watching on Game Plus in his store, and he says, back in the day in Manitoba, they called it the Manitoba Labatt Tankard. So it's not just a Saskatchewan thing. I just know that I get these emails from Curl Sask, and they still call it the Tankard, but the beer company doesn't sponsor it anymore. And I'm going to tell you something, Sonny. You should have seen when a beer company sponsored the Tankard. We didn't even make it out to the ice as media. And to our Saskatchewan viewers watching right now, that media, well, it doesn't have to be Saskatchewan. Roger Millions, Warren Woods, Murray McCormick, Craig Adam, Teresa Kirkpatrick. It was a beer fridge full of beer in the media room. We never left the room. We just sat and watched it on closed circuit television and then stumbled our way out to the arena when the game was over to do our interviews.
But for a lot of years, I'm sure there was a beer fridge that size in the players' room too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, added years to my career when they no longer sponsored the tank. Jamie is watching in Nova Scotia on Game Plus television, where it's carried on Eastlink cable out there. That's the cable carrier. Jamie says, hey, everyone, I felt 1,000 times better today now that Nagy and Pace have both departed Chicago. Disappointing season, but now we as Bears fans can finally move on. Remember the Jeep YJRP? Yes, of course I remember it. He says, get on Cobra Kai Season 4. Bo Levi is badass. Haven't gotten around to Cobra Kai Season 4 yet, but I will. Finished up the assassination of Gianni Versace over the weekend. Still enjoying the Tom Brady. What do they call it? The Man in the Arena documentary. So that's been good. Moose, any last thoughts before we let you out? And bring you back for hour 2?
No, it's great. We finished up Yellowstone late last week, and a great movie on Netflix to watch, The Protege. Watch that on Saturday night, The Protege. Really, really good show. Val Kilmer's in it.
I love Val Kilmer. Is he still alive?
As far as I know, on Saturday he was.
Must be. Okay. Oh, no, I just haven't seen him forever. And listen, it comes in threes. Betty White, John Madden, Dan Reeves. Now we got Bob Saget. You just never know. What are they? I'm missing something here in the comment section. Jordan Ewart is watching on YouTube. He says, I think it's hilarious when Rod talks NFL and the CFL guys here get butthurt. We need to go down that road. We would talk CFL if there was CFL to talk. There ain't.
That's right.
So we talk about what's hot and what's popping, and we talk about what people are talking about. Okay, Moose, we'll let you go because we're going to move in Jeff Reinbold. Toodles.
See you next hour.
Okay. The general in Calgary writes in and says, Moose's hair deserves honorable mentions today. Oh, man, you should have seen him in the morning meeting today. I was like, come on, Darren, fix your hair somewhat. Be presentable. I know it's just a staff Zoom. It's like Dolly Parton. Costs a lot to look this cheap. They're telling me the Val Kilmer's had some health concerns. That's not good. I was not aware of that. When we come back, Jeff Reinbold will join us. And there's a guy that could meld CFL and NFL. He's joining us to talk National Football League, by the way. One of the fine SkySports NFL analysts out of Europe, Jeff Reinbold. But if you got CFL questions, he'll take those as well. You're watching the RP Show. It's episode number 670, coming to you from beautiful and sunny South Florida on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a brand new week. It's the RP Show. Producer Clark telling me that Jeff Reinbold is not yet ready to go. So I hope from a timing perspective, we get him by at least the end of hour one, or we're going to have to move on. But I think we can handle it right. You and I, or maybe we bring the Moose back. Either way, we're going to jump into a sports update right now. And I see, by the way, the viewers have rallied and chimed in with some CFL news that we'll get to in a moment. Some fake news, some actual news. But from the sports ticker, Daniel Carlson kicked a 47-yard field goal as time expired in overtime, and the Las Vegas Raiders defeated the Los Angeles Chargers 35-32 in the final game of the NFL regular season. In the first ever Week 18, the Raiders earned their first NFL playoff berth since 2016. Las Vegas survived the Chargers' late comeback to win its fourth straight game and get into the postseason. The result eliminated the Chargers and sent the Pittsburgh Steelers to the postseason. And that's the thing, Jeff Reinbold offered to come on and be our NFL analyst through these NFL playoffs. So I don't know where he is. I think he's in Europe. So right now that would put him 4 or 5 hours ahead of us. Should be supper time over there. So whatever. 5:35 p.m. in London, Clark. Well, he's out for supper, Clark. That's the deal. It's good. And in hour two, Kim Coates will be with us. From Australia today, where gosh knows what time it is, Novak Djokovic returned to the tennis court today for training, having won a legal battle to stay in Australia to play in the Australian Open after his exemption from strict coronavirus vaccine rules was questioned. But the government is still threatening to cancel his visa and deport him. The unvaccinated tennis star was released after being confined to an immigration hotel for 4 nights, a drama that has gripped many in Australia and beyond. But for now, Djokovic is out and he's on the tennis court today. The story's not over yet, however. A major Chinese city near Beijing has placed its 14 million residents on partial lockdown. This after 41 children and adults tested positive for COVID-19 in Tianjin, including at least 2 with the Omicron variant. China has stepped up its zero-tolerance antivirus strategy in the run-up to the Winter Olympics, which open February 4th in Beijing. What a spit show that is. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. Okay, let me just check what they're saying, because I can sit here and go back and forth with you viewers all like for 2 hours if we want. I'm just going to answer the one thing and then maybe take a break. Gives us more time with Jeff Reinbold because we're running out of it right now. Mandy in Edmonton writes in and she says, what did Willie Jefferson say to ruffle the Riders' feathers? And I don't think it was anything to do with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders per se. It was Rider fans. And if you go to 3downnation.com right now, this is Canada's #1 source for CFL news. You'll see the whole article there. And the article was something along the lines of Willie Jefferson appreciative of Winnipeg after getting bum rush in Saskatchewan. And I've particularly enjoyed this story throughout the weekend. And since we're sitting here shooting the fat in a rain delay waiting for Jeff Reinbold, I'll go down this road. Willie basically said he likes being in Winnipeg because the Bomber fans respect his space and time and family time. Whereas in Saskatchewan, and specifically Regina, the fans have no respect for your personal space and privacy. The results being predictable. I didn't spend all of the weekend surfing through social media to see what people were saying about it, but I did spend some, and Willie is completely not wrong. And I guess it's the difference between whether you're a private person or you're a public person. I think some people like that. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of people who like that. And there's a lot of people that hate that. We're going to sit here for 5-6 minutes in this segment and talk about let's just talk about specifically Rider fans, because that's what the story is, invading your privacy. There's one player, his initials are Matt Dominguez, who was taking a leak at a Boston Pizza and had somebody come up and push a pen and paper in front of him and ask for his autograph. He's like, really? So the second that I read this story from Willie, my love and affection for Willie Jefferson's well documented. Guy can say whatever he wants, get with me. But he didn't like it. And, when he signed in Winnipeg, and let's be honest, I think it was for more money. It wasn't because he was tired of signing autographs, but he enjoyed that little piece of privacy that he got in Winnipeg that he doesn't get in Regina. But I knew fans would be upset. And some of the things that were done and said to and about Willie are unconscious. And so anyways, people were lobbing all kinds of things at Willie Jefferson, really rude things over the weekend, because he said, I get no privacy whatsoever in Regina from Rider fans. It's nice in Winnipeg that I do. And these fans are just tearing Willie apart. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe stop for the first time in your life and look at yourself. Because they're saying, if you don't like people asking for your autograph, just wait, Willie, because they won't. That's not it. Check yourself. Because you know what you're doing? Scaring your stars away. And we got Jeff Reinbold, so we're going to take a time out and come back. But anyways, that's my story on that. We can revisit it next hour because it's one of my favorite topics. You're watching the RP Show, daytime sports talk coming at you from South Florida on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, including Florida. YouTube Live and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might sprain your wrist or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been an interesting day. I'm enjoying the comments from the viewers here, and it's insane. Last week, 1 week ago today, we had Jeff Reinbold from Hawaii, like he was next door. And today's in Europe, and I guess we're having connection issues. So I guess God's telling me we need to spend more time on this CFL topic, which is Willie Jefferson versus the Riders. And now he's here. Now he's here. Can I just say this? Ooh, a lot of tap dancing here today. The poll question for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, who wins the national championship tonight, Alabama or Georgia? Clearly, I voted Alabama as a Crimson Tide fan. 57% of you saying the Crimson Tide will win this football game tonight, their 9th victory in a row. Listen, I got to pause these comments. Taco Time viewer takeover. They're all wonderful, but we'll push them into next hour. Let's bring in the coach now. We're having coffee with the coach. He's gone from a morning appearance to supper time over there in Europe. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great, Rod. Hey, what is this about me scaring away your stars? I've been accused of a lot of things, Rod, but never scaring away stars, man. What's going on?
No, not you. Did you see what Willie Jefferson said on Friday? He said Rider fans didn't respect his privacy and is a breath of fresh air going to Winnipeg where they don't bother him, or they'll at least let him do his private thing before signing autographs. And it's got Rider fans all upset. Can you imagine? Did you have Ticats fans up in your face for autographs and stuff? What? You've coached in all these markets.
Rod, I'm going to go back to something my father taught me a long, long time ago. And, he was 30 years in professional baseball. And I heard him say this once to some young players. He said, remember, there's going to come a time when they don't ask anymore. And you better treat them that way. And I get what you're saying. Yes, there is a point where you need to respect a person's privacy. I'm all about that. But I also think it's real important that we all understand that it's they who buy the tickets, that pay our salaries, that do all that kind of thing. And, as a passionate fan, you don't have a right, but it's as a player and a coach or anybody in the industry, you have to understand, that you're very privileged to have the job that you have. And there is going to come a day when somebody else is going to sit in that chair or take that place on the field, and they won't ask anymore. And if that's what you want, then that's okay. But just recognize when you make those comments, what you're saying.
Oh my God, I could talk about this all day, and maybe we will another time. But I mean, you've never coached in Saskatchewan. You wouldn't be able, Jeff, to walk 2 inches in that town. I'm telling you right now, you wouldn't. You would get tired of it.
You know what? It's interesting you say that, because I've got a number of friends who have, and I've asked them that question a number of times about what it, for example, Tommy Condell or, any of the guys that I know that have worked in Saskatchewan. And, they said it is amazing experience because they air football 24/7. I think it's probably, when I talk to guys, Jeff Jagodzinski, who is a friend of mine who worked for the Packers, and he's a Wisconsin guy. So he's a Wisconsin kid who grew up a Packer fan and then had worked for the Packers, and Mike Sherman and won Super Bowls there. And he said the same thing. He said, when you go to the grocery store, your wife's going to be asked about, the second quarterback or the third left guard or whatever. And he said it is difficult to get away from it. And it can suffocate you at times. But, both of those guys, said the same thing. It is amazing. When it's good, it's amazing. And when it's bad, sometimes it can be tough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, hey, just one more CFL question, because we brought you on to talk NFL. And the viewers want to know the Alouettes thing, how that came about and why Montreal. What's your association to Kahari, and how excited are you to get going in Montreal?
Well, I'm excited to get going, Rod. And when I made the decision to not go back to Edmonton, wow, listen to me. I'm going to get the whole Western Division in here before. But when I made the decision to not go back to Hamilton, a couple days later, the phone started to ring. And, I was offered an opportunity to go to Edmonton. I was offered an opportunity, obviously, to go to Montreal. There were some things down in the USFL and the XFL, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. But as I started to talk to Danny Machocha more and more, I really liked what he had to say about, the commitment to winning there, about what he's trying to get done, about, Kahari. I don't know Kahari other than by reputation and just the little bits I've been around him in the league. But in a 9-team league, everybody kind of knows everybody. And I've been impressed with him as a person. I like the way his football team, is drawn to him. I think he's got leader. Yeah, obviously, you don't play quarterback in that league for as long as he did and not have leadership ability. And I think it'll be a nice mix. As I do with all my decisions about anything professional, I put them in the hands of my agent, and I give it to Paul Sheehy, who works for ProStar. He owns ProStar in Denver, and he's got a number of NFL clients and CFL clients. And I just say, Paul, I want you to sort through this for me. And he came back to me 4 or 5 days later and said, Jeff, I really think you got to take a hard look at Montreal. And that's, when we made the decision to go that direction.
Okay, Coach, I've never done this, but can I ask you to stick through a 4-minute break and come back to the next segment with us? Would you mind?
Dude, you're my guy. Even though you got a Buccaneer shirt on, you're still my guy.
Well, when in Rome. So, hey, I appreciate it. So stick with me, if you don't mind, because I had a coach DM me this morning, a U.S. college coach, and he's like, what's Coach Reinebold got to say? And I said, tune in. And he said, best coordinator in the CFL, maybe in the game, special teams. And we haven't even picked your brain on football yet. So to please him and me and our viewers. Yeah, we'll come right back with Coach Reinebold in hour 2. So stick with us, everybody. Hour 2 brought to you by Great Western Brewing Company, of course. And I'll get to your lovely comments as well, because there are a million here. So stick around, everybody. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games.
Play among legends at betregal.net.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Winnipeg has become the flagship franchise of the CFL. Oh, yeah, who said that months ago? Oh, wait a minute. Me.
Oh, good one.
What I respect about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is that they don't care. They're not running around looking for credit. They don't care. They've got the Grey Cups. They've got the records. They don't care. Proof's in the pudding, man.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Brand new week. Daytime sports talk coming at you from South Florida. Hour 2 brought to you by Great Western's Original 16 beer. Extra smooth, extra refreshing. Find Original 16 at a store near you today. And, of course, Taco Time. Taco Time viewer takeover coming up. They're not tater tots. They're Mexi fries. Scientifically proven. All right. I appreciate this guy for sticking with us into Hour 2. We can kick the shoes off Coach Reinebold and get into it. Okay. Thanks for waiting. Alabama, Georgia tonight. That U.S. college coach I was telling you about, I don't want to give his name. Let's just say he's a real sweet guy. And I think you know him. We can't figure out why Georgia's favored by 3 at betregal.net tonight against Alabama. Because Alabama destroyed them 41-24 in the SEC championship game. This national championship tonight, what do you think about that line and how do you think it's going to play out?
I think it's an interesting line. I think says what Georgia did to Michigan than what Alabama did to Georgia. And again, those lines tend to be, they change every week. They change every day. And certainly Georgia's latest body of work against Michigan was, a beatdown. And I mean a serious beatdown. Michigan looked slow. They looked unathletic. I don't think, Rod, you can appreciate just how good SEC defensive linemen are. The biggest difference in college football across the country is in the defensive line. And you go to the SEC, and those are real men. I mean, those are real athletic, big, strong human beings. I heard a coach from the university. We played University of Wisconsin when I was at Hawaii. And Jim Hubner was the offensive line coach at Wisconsin. I talked to him before the game because I've known him for years. And I said, Hubby, how do you like it at Wisconsin? And he said, I really like it here. We got great kids. He said, but in the Big Ten, most of what would be defensive linemen in the SEC, they're just not there. And the offensive linemen in the SEC are playing defensive line in the Big Ten. And I think that's really true. That they're so athletic. They're unbelievably athletic. You look at the 5-star ratings, and I'm not a big guy on ratings, recruiting ratings, but Rivals does a star system. There were 40 5-star players on the Georgia roster. There were 5 at Michigan. And it really looked like it on game time because Michigan's speed, which was outstanding in the Big Ten, just could not hold up on the edges on a perimeter with, Georgia. And I think, the place that I give Alabama an edge in this game is coaching. I think Saban has been there, done it. He's got outstanding people on his staff. His team knows how to prepare, knows how to play in big games. Georgia got bloodied by Alabama the last time they played. It'll be interesting to see whether Kirby Smart and that staff can, whether that was going to serve as a wake-up call or whether this will be a reminder of why Alabama is better than Georgia.
41-24, 1 month ago, December the 7th, the Crimson Tide won the football game. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if anybody's done the stats on this. Somebody must have. There's got to be more SEC players than in the CFL than any other conference. They run rampant across.
Well, I think the same thing's true, Rod, in the National Football League. You look around the NFL, and every team you see has outstanding SEC players. You look at, we've had Jefferson was the rookie of the year a year ago, a receiver out of LSU. Well, this year it's probably going to be Jamar Chase, his teammate at LSU. I mean, you just go through it. It's football in the South, particularly in the Southeast, the SEC. It is way more than a game. And, until you've coached down there, and I coached in Louisiana, and I will tell you that it is a completely different game. And it is the best athletes with the most, with this NIL thing that they have in the States now, where basically players can be paid, the balance of power is going to shift even further and further away. And the big schools in the SEC, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Texas A&Ms, the Floridas, they'll just keep getting farther and farther past and farther ahead of everybody else in the country.
I know you want to talk about the NFL playoff matchups, but we just got to talk about the firings. 6 openings now, as we sit here now. There may be more by the end of the day, but in South Florida, they are outraged at Brian Flores being fired. I'm not joking. Outraged. And I didn't see it coming. Did you?
I thought there was a possibility, and I'll tell you why. When you watch the circus that went on around Tua Tagovailoa and Deshaun Watson, and are we going to trade for Deshaun, you know what? That told me everything that I needed to know. There was obviously a tremendous rift in the organization. Rod, having done this for 30-some years, I can read the tea leaves pretty well. And when you see a guy who you took in with the 5th pick in the draft having to deal with repeated questions about whether are you really going to be the guy here for the long term? Are you good enough? All the stuff that when you openly, flirt with Deshaun Watson, you're setting yourself up for now that separation to occur. And what it told me was that there was a gigantic power struggle going on in Miami. Now, I will say this. I think Flores is an outstanding coach. I think that's been proven. But there are some things that make you scratch your head a little bit, and you don't know whether they're Brian Flores, they're the general manager, they're the owner, where it's all coming from. But Tua's been there 3 years. He's had 3 different offensive coordinators. 3 in 3 years. That is really tough on a young quarterback. Now, and they've had numerous staff changes. That's a little bit the Belichickian way. But is that, Greer? Is that Flores? Continuity is important in an organization. And when you're constantly changing coaches, unless you have the structure that New England has. And, here's another thing we can talk about, Rod. How many New England assistant coaches have gone out from Fortress Patriot and succeeded? Now, everybody wants a little of that Belichick magic, that Patriot magic, but hey, go through them. Tell me the ones that have succeeded or more than one or 2 years. Josh McDaniels had a little flirt with success in Denver. Bill O'Brien is now at Alabama trying to get back into the National Football League. I mean, you go through the whole list of them. Brian Flores now 3 years and fired. You go through the whole list of them, and it's basically the same story. And the fact of the matter is the structure in New England is so unique, so very unique, where basically Belichick handles everything. And the owner has input, but really stands back and just writes checks. And so you can take that out of New England. You can take that, he can tell you about the structure. He can say, this is the way we did it in New England. But are you willing to give that guy, that kind of power? And again, Dave Patricia in Detroit. I mean, it's over and over and over. We've heard it. They're great young football coaches. They're great coaches. They've been in the proving ground of the NFL. There's no place in history that's had more success than New England's had. And yet, all these bright guys go out of the factory, go out of the laboratory, and can't succeed. Why is it? Because it's such a unique environment in New England. And if they can replicate the entire environment, you might have the success. But it's proven to be a failure.
Have you had the opportunity to see any of the Man in the Arena documentaries on Tom Brady that's airing right now on ESPN?
I have not, but I've been told by a friend of mine that it's really good.
Oh, well, yeah. And so it's 20 years of Patriots football. You're talking about Matt Patricia, Charlie Weiss, Romeo Crennel, Josh McDaniel. Where are those guys now? So, yes. But I will say this, Sam McGuavin. Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
It's been every one of them. And it's interesting. You see Sam, wasn't it great to see Sam score a touchdown for Miami on the last play of the game yesterday?
That's what I'm saying. And he loves Flores. He's a Flores guy. So you think there's a few nervous guys in that locker room today with Flores being let go. But Sam will play somewhere. The viewers want to know how you got that SkySports opportunity, Coach, to be the NFL analyst there on that European network. They're enjoying your coverage. How did it come about?
I'll tell you what, Rod, like a lot of things in my career have come about, just sheer luck. I mean, for a guy who has no more talent than I have, I've been really, really fortunate. Here's what happened. I was working for the NFL office in London, England. I had been fired by Winnipeg, came over to NFL Europe. They asked me to stay and work in the International Player Development Program out of London. And I was in the office one day, and the president of the league, Alistair Kirkwood, came down, and he knocked on my door, and he said, Jeff, didn't you do some TV for TSN when you got fired in Winnipeg? I said, yeah, I did a little stuff around the Grey Cup, and I had a weekly NFL News and Notes show. And he said, would you sit in this weekend? Because Sky is a Fox affiliate, and, Brian Baldinger, Troy Aikman, Moose Johnson, all those guys, Darren Woodson, all of them cut their teeth over here. They were using it as a developmental environment for their young broadcasters. And so Darren couldn't make a show, and they didn't have enough time to get the paperwork done to get another guy in from the States. So they asked me to sit in. I sat in, did the show. And Rod, I prepared, but I did it the way I do everything in my life. I'm not going to obsess about it and sweat about it. I'm going to be me. And if that's not good enough, then they can find another guy. And it just so happened that one of the big wigs from Mr. Murdoch's Rupert Murdoch's corporation, they own Fox, was in town in London and was just channel surfing and checking the programming. And he came across our broadcast and they had a meeting on Monday, and I found this out about 5 years later. And the producer of the NFL show was sitting in the meeting, and the guy goes around the table and he's telling everybody what he thinks of the programming. And he comes to the NFL show and he goes, "All right, who was that blonde guy you had in this week doing the color?" And my my producer goes, "He was just a fill-in. I swear, you'll never see him again. Guys, never. No, I can get rid of him tomorrow." And the guy goes, "Nah, I kind of like him. Let's keep him around." And that's 15 years ago. So that's how it happened. I wish I could say it was premeditated and I had this big plan and I'd done all this training and everything else. It was just a lucky break, and how it happens sometimes.
Well, where I really got in tune to it was when you and Rob Ryan were down here in South Florida for that Super Bowl, and I'm like, oh, I want to be there so bad.
Hey,
so I made it happen.
The greatest one we've ever done was when I was working for Sports Center, right? And they sent me down to do it was the Broncos and Atlanta in Miami. And they were looking for a location. They were trying to figure out what to do around the beach. And I said, okay, give me 15 minutes. I'll have something for you. So what I did is I went to the lifeguard tower and I got on the lifeguard's little bullhorn, that they have. And I said, open auditions for Sports Center out of Canada, Super Bowl, human telestrator segment. Be here in 5 minutes. Well, you know what it's like. It's like moths to light, when you get people at
it was
the
a
beach
bum rush.
Be on TV.
Yeah.
be on TV. So they all like that. We must have had 50 people around the lifeguard shack, right? And so now I got to come up with an idea, right? So I said, okay, here's what I need. I need 11 girls and 11 men, right? And we divided them into teams, and then we went out on the beach, and we actually ran the Broncos waggle play, which is a bootleg play that Elway ran all the time, against cover two. And so I would move people around like they were chess pieces, right? And they're in their bathing suits, and I mean, it was madness, but it was a big, big hit, and we had a heck of a lot of fun with it. That's probably my proudest TV moment.
I could see it now. It's like Baywatch meets Longest Yard or something. But I showed up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, well, I showed up to do the show at Bow Campers here in September. Bow Campers Sports Bar in Fort Lauderdale, yeah. And they said, "We'd love to have you. Anything to do with the Dolphins, we're fine with." And I'm like, sure. Yeah, let's go with that. And the show's been great, and they've had us make that. Hey, we only have time for one NFL question. We'll have to break it down next one. But for my Cowboys, I like the 49ers matchup more than Cardinals on Wild Card Weekend. That's how I feel about the matchup. How about you?
I think it's going to be an interesting game. In my opinion, right? This is my opinion. Last night, Kyle Shanahan absolutely pencil whipped Raheem Morris. And I mean pencil whipped him. If it was a 12-round fight, they'd have stopped it at 6th round, because they had no idea how to defend them. And, the thing that San Francisco brings is a system that really, really does a great job utilizing its personnel, because they've got some guys in Juszczyk and Kittle and Deebo Samuel they can do multiple things with those guys. And so they really make it hard on you on defense. And you got to make, in my opinion, you've got to make Garoppolo beat you, right? You can't let the running backs beat you. You got to make Garoppolo beat you. And I am sure Dan Quinn will spend this week scheming up ways that they can get into 8-man boxes and make Garoppolo throw the ball to win the game. Otherwise, if you do what Raheem Morris did yesterday, which is, basically nothing. I mean, he did, their adjustments were, it was interesting. At the end of the game, they blew a coverage on the goal line on the touchdown that was really the deciding factor in the game. And I don't know if you caught it, but Jalen Ramsey went right up to Raheem Morris and jumped in his grill, because he knew they were in the wrong stuff. And I think that's really where the Cowboys are going to have to really do a great job scheme-wise on defense. And this is going to be Dan Quinn against Kyle Shanahan, two guys that know each other extremely well.
Yeah, and for the Rams might have just ticked them off because they're still in the playoffs, and they now have the Cardinals. So every matchup in the playoffs scares me for the Cowboys, always have. Coach, it's been nice to have more time. Thanks for this.
It's my pleasure. We're going to do this every Monday through the playoffs, I hope.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man. Stay safe over there, and thanks for this. Thanks for staying.
You got it, Rod. Aloha.
Jeff Reinbold of the Montreal Alouettes and SkySports NFL analyst. The Moose will be back in here next. We got lots to talk about today. It's a brand new week on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Brand new week continues on the RP Show, just ahead of bringing the Moose back in. A lot of people talking about our flow on this show. It's because of one of our newest partners, Tough Tribe for Men. Tough Tribe for Men contains aloe vera, botanicals, and antioxidants, traditionally known for their scalp and hair benefits. We are part of the clean beauty industry. Welcome to Clean Beauty for Men. Available today at toughtribeformen.com. That's the number 4. toughtribeformen.com and Amazon Canada. And hour 2 of the RP show is brought to you by Great Western. Original 16 beer, brewed right in Saskatchewan, made with premium Saskatchewan ingredients. Original 16 is unfiltered for peak flavor. Purchase at a store near you today. And again, just before we bring the Moose in, it's Monday. They've been wanting to talk to us, Moose. Hang on. I just open up the 902 text line and boom, it's full. So from the comment earlier, we were reading curling results from across the country. Shane, watching in Selkirk, Manitoba, says he's watching on Game Plus TV. He says, I've only heard tankard used in Ontario. Every other event there's called a tankard. I've never heard it used in Manitoba. Our men's is just called the Viterra Men's Provincial. So some provinces do, some provinces don't. Chris, watching in Surrey, BC on Game Plus television, says, love you, Dupes, but I respectfully disagree. The timeout changed the Raiders' approach. We can bring the Moose in on that, but I'm just going to roll through these and then you can respond to whatever selected ones you want. From Sean, watching in Vancouver on Game Plus television. Morning, guys. From my curling teammate, Rob, he says tankard or British consoles is an older term designating the men's provincial curling champion. So it's not just a Saskatchewan term, but it's an old term, and not everybody uses it anymore. From Jack in Alberta, Chargers at Raiders was one of the most exciting games I've watched in a while. Very impressed with Chargers quarterback number 10, Herbert. From here, go Cowboys. And from Brady, watching in the Bridge City, he says, I get to watch the RP show on Mondays as well. I heard last night Sunday Nighter was supposed to be the worst Sunday Nighter of all time. It was amazing. Was hoping for a tie, though, but I guess Big Ben gets one more run at the Super Bowl. Coffee starts at 11 SAS time, noon Eastern. We covered all of this in the warm-up. Folks, that's why we do it. We covered all these things, but which of this, Darren, tickles your fancy that you would like to address?
I'm not done with the Sunday Nighter, man. I'm not. I mean, I'm glad somebody brought up Justin Herbert because I've been excited to talk about those two quarterbacks. I mean, somebody on Twitter said there needs to be an award for Derek Carr. An award. I don't care what it is. It won't be the MVP, but there needs to be some award because they've gone through all kinds of adversity and they just find ways to win and get the team into the playoffs. And that dude is a leader and unbelievable watching him play. But Justin Herbert is a real elite talent. And the big shocker in the NFL is that the Chargers aren't in the playoffs. They are so talented, but they're Jekyll and Hyde. You just, 1 week they're up, 1 week they're down, but there's no doubting their talent. And you think you'd be nervous in that fourth quarter and into overtime, but he completed, I think it was 5 fourth downs. And they weren't running the football. These were 4th and 10s. And you're on the edge of your seat, but it didn't seem like they were. It just bang, 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 bang. 4th down conversion, 4th down conversion, 4th down conversion. It was unbelievable to watch his poise. And the way he took that team down the field and got it into overtime was really cool. And on the timeout thing, I was reading more about that. And, if the coaches and Derek Carr came out and said, look, when they signaled the timeout, that's what changed our mentality to we're going to go for the win as opposed to just kneel this out. Well, they didn't throw the football after that. They still just continued to run it. And the Chargers could have stopped them. But instead, Jacobs broke a 10 or 12-yard run, which put him into field goal range. So I still don't think the timeout was that big of a factor. We're overblowing it a little bit.
We're not, but people are.
People.
And as I said,
people.
I had that coach DM me this morning and go, you guys better be talking about the timeout. And it's just, that's the thing about football is it is the ultimate hindsight sport. If it works, we're not talking about it. It didn't work. So we're talking about it, right? They lost the game. Anyways, just want to throw in some comments from the YouTube feed right now. And by the way, we will start this brand new week. It started. Comment contest is open for Taco Time. Online ordering is available. Try it today and get a free burrito on your first order. Who wouldn't want that? Use promo code FREEBURRITO when you sign up at Taco Time. Go to Taco Time online. Everybody got that? Okay. From our viewers, they all love the interview with Jeff Reinbold. Carlos watching in Indianapolis, which, by the way, is site of the Natty tonight, Alabama, Georgia. Carlos says it's nice how this show can make audibles when necessary. I think most television shows could. I've been doing TV a long time, too, not necessarily on this channel and this show. You could. They just don't. You know what I mean?
That's right.
They're so rigid
script,
and inflexible. Right, stick to the script, whereas we don't even have a script. That is the truth.
How about that?
Alex Campbell. Yeah, how about that? Alex Campbell, watching on YouTube, says, is there a better interview than Jeff Reinbold? Extremely experienced and interesting. There's just a football guy. And why he likes me, I have no idea, because we've never worked on the same team. Never worked on the same team. Just been in the CFL forever. And as I've often said, people like us just tend to find each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mutual respect.
Yeah, I guess. Jennifer, watching from the Four Seasons, she's watching on Game Plus today. She let us know that in hour one. Cynthia's watching in Pittsburgh. She joined us late. She's like, what did I miss? All of this. You got to be here right on time. Noon Eastern. Yeah. Jennifer says the refs helped out the Raiders with that lousy pass interference call that ended with the Raiders scoring the touchdown. I like the Raiders, but I was cheering for the Chargers. How about this? If both teams had tied, and I would like to, is it 111? Oh, no, well past 129 East. Pay attention to what's going on here. Everybody's writing in about the NFL stuff because it's what's top of mind, it's what's front and center. Are you with me on this? That if the game had ended in a tie, whether legitimately or not, it could have, and Big Ben gets knocked out, would you not say that it was their fault for not putting it in somebody else's hands, your playoff fate? You could have done, thrown one more touchdown, Ben, to win one more game. You didn't win the division as it was. You snuck in. Really, they did. They kind of backdoored it. They did backdoor it. How can you be mad when you leave it to somebody else? Fair?
You can't. You can never be. You're right. You can never be mad when you leave it to somebody else. But it would have been worse if they just ho-hum went through the game, didn't take any chances, didn't try and win. No, they were both. The Chargers and the Raiders were trying to win that football game. Like, they were taking shots down the field. They were playing to win the game. And if it happened to end in a tie, because that's how tight it was, that would have been okay. That would have been okay. So it's just the whole kneel down thing. If we would have just kneeled out the clock, that would have been a bit of an embarrassment to the league and to the game and the integrity. But if that game last night, the way it was played, if that ended in a tie, it would have been completely different.
Cynthia in Pittsburgh watching, she says, Big Ben gets one more run and my hopes get one more round. Steeler fan here and Pittsburgh proud. I'm happy for them. But again, if it had ended in the tie and he got knocked out, I wouldn't have shed a tear. I was reading this morning, he's never had a below 500 record in his entire career. Just with all the crap and stuff that's thrown at him, he's never had a losing record. That's unbelievable to me.
That's really unbelievable. It's crazy. And there was one poor lone Steeler fan at the game in Vegas that they kept cutting to as that game was tied. And he's just like, oh my God, this is going to end up in a tie. I came here to celebrate the playoffs. And it was funny watching that they kept panning to him and then the relief that he felt after that game was over. My God.
Pinks is watching one of our P1s. Pinks. Todd Pinkney. He says, well, it won't be Eagles, Cowboys, But can Tampa Bay stop the Eagles' running game? Brady will be hurting after this one. As always, lunch on it. Can I just spend a minute on the Tampa Bay-Philadelphia game? BetRegal.net has the Bucs favored by 8.5. The only way Tampa loses this game is if they get lost on the way to the stadium, which incidentally is in their stadium. So, and I did bet one of our sponsors, Darnell from Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. I bet him on last Saturday night's game, Cowboys-Eagle, 2 nights ago. Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions, by the way, you guys want to send the guitar across the screen because I love it so much. The Rockstar of the Day on Friday was Tori Gurley, by the way. Tori Gurley, our NFL insider. Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions specializes in improving your company's performance and bottom line through supply chain management services. We bet a lunch at Shula's Joe's, Darren, in the Bridge City, because you know how much I love my Shula's Joe's. I really do. And he said, yeah, you're on. And then the Cowboys just motorboated them, as I like. They motorboated them. But then I'm watching the game, and the Eagles rested all their guys, including their quarterback, Jalen Hurts. I'm like, what's Gardner Minshew in this? Aren't they getting ready for the playoffs? So I've rescinded the bet. It wasn't even a challenge. And Jeff Reinbold's got me considerably scared now of the San Francisco 49ers. Now I wish we were getting the beaten up, low fuel light on Arizona Cardinals going into the playoffs here. I still think it's a good enough matchup. I do. Mandy in Edmonton says, so happy you're feeling better, Rod. Thank you, Mandy. She says, must know if Kim Coates watched any CFL last season. As you told him, there would be a season, and you were right. Thank you. I do have psychic abilities, as I've learned lately. Has Kim Coates tried to log in yet? Darren, I'm going to let you go and bring you back for overtime. What do you say?
Have fun with Kim.
Okay, see ya. Thanks for your contribution. We'll see you in overtime. Quick sports update from this Monday. Daytime sports talk is just so much fun. So much goes on. From the NFC North to the AFC East, the firings began almost immediately after the NFL's first 17-game season concluded. The Vikings fired Coach Mike Zimmer and General Manager Rick Spielman this morning following an 8-9 season. Division rival Chicago parted with Coach Matt Nagy and GM Ryan Pace after going 6-11. And in a surprise, Miami dismissed Coach Brian Flores, whose Dolphins went 9-8, including a sweep of arch rival New England this year. Indeed, the coaching records for each total 130 wins and 112 losses. Flores was right around 500, just below 500 in 3 seasons here. Yet here in South Florida, the Dolphins seem to be overachievers with a modest roster, but the Vikings and Bears were both major disappointments this season. One problem for Minnesota and Chicago resides in neighboring Wisconsin, the Packers. While Green Bay is an NFL power and perennial championship contender, the Vikings and Bears have done more teasing than triumphs. Zimmer was 7-8-1 against the Packers. The Bears under Nagy were 1-7 against Green Bay. So Aaron Rodgers is the reason, apparently, that both these coaches got fired. Anyways, that's what's gone down so far in the National Football League this morning on Black Monday. 3 coach firings and a few GMs. By the way, Dolphins owner Stephen Ross, who kept general manager Chris Grier, hinted at communication issues. Grier is the brother of former NHLer Mike Grier. I was told by NFL super agent Gil Scott when we were eating shrimp in the luxury suite in Miami here a couple months ago. Anyways, this sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, visit g2gbars.ca and order yours today. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Star of film, stage, and screen, Kim Coates, joins us next. You're watching the RP Show from South Florida on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Oh yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Daytime Sports Talk continues from gorgeous South Florida. But hey, we got news from Canada. The MMA is coming to Calgary this weekend. Palace Athena Women's Fighting Championship is set for Saturday night at Grey Eagle and includes 2 title bouts. Laura Fonterra and Andy Nguyen square off for the PAW-FC 115-pound world title Saturday at Grey Eagle Resort and Calgary. In Calgary, pawfc.com for tickets. That's PAWFC.com for tickets this Saturday night. MMA at Grey Eagle in Calgary. 1 week from today, we'll be broadcasting live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. As I said before the break, the star of film, stage, and screen, Tim Coates, joins us, and he was just kind of in a rain delay the last couple of years, or so we thought in COVID, and now he's got all kinds of things to promote as we welcome him back in the new year. How are you doing, Mr. Coates?
Rod, how are you?
100%, my man.
Are you in Florida, Rod? You're not in Regina. No.
I'm in Boca Raton, where your friends all say to say hi. They remember you from the Bad Boys film down here that you starred in.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I was a very young actor. Michael Bay actually hired me to do a bigger part in that movie. And I turned him down to do another movie with my boy John Dahl, which got canceled. So I kind of lost both of them in a way. And then 8 months later, Michael Bay goes, "Hey, Coatsy, would you mind coming on and redoing the beginning of this movie? We need a better beginning and we want you to do it." I said, "Sure, Michael. Sure, I will." So I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you played a thug, which was a real stretch for you, Kim. A real stretch for you to play a thug.
Stretch, Rod. Like, you know this, but my mom in Saskatoon goes, "And who are you killing this one? And do you live in this one? I just want it." And I go, "Mom, I can't tell you, Mom."
How about that?
Of course. Well, you couldn't tell us any of these exciting projects that you've been working on through all this. So what can you tell us today?
Well, it's good to see you again there, buddy boy. And, since we last talked, the world is still in this COVID thing, and hopefully it's getting better and better with the smart ones like me who are vaccinated and boosted and doing the right thing for the hospitals and the nurses and the doctors and all that stuff. So hopefully it's going to keep getting better and better. But I haven't really stopped. I guess the big one, I have 3 films opening this year, which is really cool. One with my daughter Brenna, actually, called Neon Lights. Dana Abraham stars in it and wrote it. We shot it in Hamilton, and it's freaking amazing. This movie is so good. A couple others. I did Donkey Head in Regina with Agam Darshi. We shot that last January. Freezing, but it's coming out this year. Excited about that as well. But the big one is White House Plumbers. I filmed that with Woody Harrelson and Lena Headey and Justin Theroux in upstate New York for 5 months. It's Watergate, Rod. True story. I play a real guy, Frank Sturgis, Italian, Philly. And it's like the 50th anniversary. You're too young for this, Rod, but I'm not. Nixon, 1972, giving that stupid little peace sign, getting on his plane and taking off. This is the 50th anniversary, and it's huge. It's well over $100 million budget, and HBO did it right, and I can't wait for the world to see it.
I'll never forget the title, White House Plumbers. And for your information, I was born in 1972. So what can you tell us a little more about your role, if you don't mind, please?
There you go, Rod. Yeah, you were a baby, literally. Look, there's 8 guys who were part of the White House Plumbers. That was our code name. And Howard Hunt, played by Woody Harrelson, Gordon Liddy, played by Justin Theroux. They steamrolled the entire thing of breaking into the Democratic national headquarters at the Watergate Hotel. And people don't know this, but we actually broke in 4 times before we finally got caught. 4? Where's that 4? Over there. Yeah, somewhere over there. Anyway, 4 times. And it's all true. And it's hysterical. David Mandel directs it. He's won a few Emmys for Veep and Seinfeld. And just to get back to 1972, Rod, and wear that polyester and those ties and those loafers and sore feet every day. And it was, my hair looked like this guy. Frank Sturgis died in 1993, the real guy. But we're all going to do it justice, and it's coming out in May, HBO 2022.
I was just Googling that, actually. Came up at IMDb, a 5-part series. Yeah, so May is when it drops. You got me excited. Now, as a kid of the 80s, really is what I was. I heard so much about Watergate. I'm wondering about your daughter, Brenna. What does she think about this project of her dad's? Like, I knew very much of it as a kid. Yeah, she didn't, hey? She
heard about Nixon. She, history, a bit of a history buff, but she knew nothing about it, really. And so to be able to be in something that is a historical truth like this, and it's actually turned into a 6-part series, Rod, not 5, it's 6 actually. And the cars and the hair and everyone's smoking. I mean, it's all real. And I'm just really super pumped for it to be out. And when I was filming it, Rod, I mean, I know that we're going to talk about Pegasus here in a second and Stars Ambulance, which I'm so involved with and so happy to be involved with. But when I was filming for the 4.5 months, because of the Delta variant in the summer and fall, HBO would not allow me to fly to Canada. So I missed all the Saskatchewan showing off of this incredible 68 Ford Mustang fastback, over 500 horsepower. But it went all over Saskatchewan. They did a tour. Vaughn Wyant, Lori Leach. I'm so proud of them and their team at Pegasus, and having me along as a bit of an ambassador has been a real honor for me. But yeah, we're selling this car on auction live, History Channel, 28th of January, 3 o'clock Saskatoon time, because as we know, the world revolves around Saskatoon. It's 3 p.m., 28th of January. That Pegasus automobile is going to be auctioned off to a lucky buyer of that vehicle, and every penny goes to Stars Ambulance.
I thought I was the only one that said that. I'm glad there's at least two that say that the world revolves around us. That's yeah, the sad thing is we believe it. But I saw all the photos of the vehicle, and Stars. I'm not. This sounds dumb to say. One of the most worthwhile charities in the province. To say the most is a disservice to the others, but
sure,
the other important ones, right? But this is a big one, man. They got a big budget, and sometimes I wonder where we were as a province without the Stars Air Ambulance. How we did things. The stories are just unbelievable. The lives that it saved.
What a great thing to say, Rod. You're so right. I mean, I think the pinnacle of that Humboldt Bronco tragic bus crash, that is, you can't even talk about it without tearing up and all that. But the Stars were first on the scene. You can only imagine what that must have been like. And to have Alberta, Saskatchewan, and parts of Manitoba and BC, mostly Saskatchewan and Alberta, to have this Stars ambulance and the fleets, we need new helicopters. We're getting them. We're raising all this money, all this awareness. Those pilots and nurses on those helicopters do the most amazing job did we take it for granted? How did we even have, when farmers would get hurt in the field or a car crash in northern Saskatchewan, whatever, without Stars, man, we're saving so many lives, and we can't really live in our communities without doing that. So pretty proud, and it's a very, very large charity, and Scott Moe does a great job in donating money back to Stars, which we so need. And like I said, Vaughn Wyant and Lori Leach spearheading this Pegasus project. We've raised so much money. It's ridiculous. And it's all going to Stars. And I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, like I said, it's needed because it's an expensive thing to run. It saves so many lives. Kim, you're looking fantastic. I'm so glad that you had some exciting news to drop here today. But the visits are always great. The CFL did play as I told you that it would. Winnipeg won the Grey Cup, if you didn't hear.
Before we go, I got to just say a couple things. First of all, I listen to you all the time. And you fill me in with everything that's going on, especially in Canada. I need to know one thing. How are we, and I did see the Grey Cup. I was flying that day, saw the final, the last two quarters. I have no idea what that guy from Hamilton was doing, giving up the single point. I think he thought he was in America. It was just too bad for Hamilton, my God. But what a game, what a game. How are we going to make up these NHL games? I don't know what's going on. I don't understand what's happening. They're all postponed. I get it. Omicron flying around. I understand. Protocol 5. I get it. But how are we going to make all those games up, bro?
We have a 2-week window, and we have 3 weeks plus of games postponed. So your guess is as good as mine. Maybe ask Gary Bettman, because I don't think he knows, so I don't know. They don't know, Kim. All right. That's the answer. They don't know. Sorry.
Let me know, Rod. Let me know. Say hi to Darren for me, wherever he is. You've hit Darren today. I don't know where he is. He didn't make the cut today, but that's all right.
He's around. Love you, Kim. Thanks for the time.
Love you, buddy.
Stay safe.
Take care down there, buddy.
All right.
Thanks, Rod. See you, buddy.
Kim Coates, 3 films coming out this year, and also that big Stars Air Ambulance lottery coming up at the end of the month, too. Wonderful, January 28th. He asked about Moose. He's in next for Overtime. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, welcome back. It is overtime, and since he was asked for, let's get the Moose on the screen. Kim Coates was wondering where you are. He thinks I've stashed you away somewhere, Moose. Did you see? You must have been watching that part of the interview.
I actually missed that part. I took a call. But that's pretty funny. Next time I'll stick around, I guess.
Yeah, you got to. The Pallas Athena Women's Fighting Championship is coming to Calgary. Saturday's card features 2 world titles on the line. See it live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in Calgary, or watch live on pay-per-view. PAWFC.com for more information and obviously ticket info. Let's let the cat out of the bag now. A guy by the name of Andrew has written me. He says, Rod, are you coming to Pallas Athena's on Saturday? The answer is yes. The Eagle's supposed to land at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Darren, you'll already be at Grey Eagle. I will jump in the transportation that'll be provided for me, and I'll be racing down to the Grey Eagle, and I will be there Saturday night for Pallas Athena's Women's Fighting Championships, 2 titles on the line. So how about that?
How about
that? That's pretty cool. Really, really cool. I'm happy that they're partnering with us to help bring some awareness to it. It's brand new. It's all women. It's kind of groundbreaking, putting them on the map. And there's a name associated that some of our viewers will recognize, Chris Cyborg. She won like the Grand Slam. All the major promotions, she's held a title in, including being one of the greatest of the UFC. So Chris Cyborg is a part of this. She's not fighting, but she's got fighters, I believe, that are taking part. And she's actually going to be in Calgary for a meet and greet on Saturday, too.
She's like the owner and the coach, and she's the Dana White of this. How about that? Am I right?
Well, not of the operation, but of a group of fighters. So
a team, yeah.
A team, yeah.
Jeff in Winnipeg watching. He says, all I can say, if you're sick, stay home. My wife tested positive for COVID. She's almost better, but now I'm battling it. Stay home, stay safe if you're sick. Did that. I'm out. Bob's your uncle.
Life's good.
From the general in Calgary says, sounds like a good Cowtown bout. I got to be honest with you. I'm not overly excited about leaving South Florida. I'm tremendously excited to get to Calgary and Grey Eagle to start broadcasting live shows. And Saturday night, it is the Palace Athena's Women's Fighting Championship. And we're going to be there if, again, the plane lets it. It's 6 days away. So fingers crossed, 5 days, whatever. Yeah, Kim Coates asks all the tough questions. How are they going to get these NHL games in? I don't know. I will bet you everything that I have that Gary Bettman doesn't know. I put the comment in my Monday morning goalie column today. Last minute of play in the RP show. I put the column in the Monday morning goalie column today. There's 2-week window and 3 weeks worth of postponement. Will they delay the playoffs? I got to think it's the only way to do it.
Yeah, if they have to. I mean, look at the pandemic. The NHL has not been shy away from moving their schedule around or playing in unconventional times or dropping the number of total games. I know it won't be completely fair, but we've seen it before where the season got chopped off and then they went to a playoff. And expanded the playoff, right? You'll look at the remaining games. They'll be looking at everything here.
My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat. She says, thanks for another great show. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all the comments. It was a brand new week. We were excited to get on the air, but we'll do it again tomorrow at noon Eastern and talk to more of you then here on Game Plus and YouTube.
Nerds! Nerds! How about that? Oh, no. LFG. Hot take.